Are we ready?
All right, ready.
No bras required. The podcast where two girlfriends talk about everything from diapers to death and do it all braless and brutally honest.
I'm Megan. I'm a mom of four, lifelong educator, dance studio owner, coffee and wine snob, and never afraid to speak my mind.
And I'm Patty, mom of three, teacher turned leader, dance boss, loud laughter, tequila enthusiast, and professionally unfiltered.
Together, we've got over 30 years in education, 7 kids, 2 studios, countless bottles of wine and tequila, and a whole lot of stories to share with you.
What's No Bras Required all about? It's a space for women like us who are juggling life, entrepreneurship, parenting, work, marriage, friendship, grief, joy, chaos, and just need some real talk.
So, whether you're sipping wine in leggings, hiding in your car, or rage cleaning your kitchen, we're here for you. Hey, Patty.
Hey, Megan.
How are you?
It is beautiful in Alberta today. So I mixed my pineapple juice with my Malibu just for you.
Yes, well, that's because we're going to be real sassy today.
Yeah, we are. I love this topic.
I'm excited. I'm
I am too.
excited. Actually, I'm really excited about this whole month. I think it's great. So,
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
yay.
So today our topic is I don't actually need you to like me. There.
There we go.
Yeah. And it's a little, it sounds so harsh, but I think it's something that's such a valid conversation to have with women,
Mm,
right?
absolutely. Well, yeah, because have you ever spent an entire day worrying whether someone was mad at you?
Yes. And I'm happy to say it was more in my 20s and 30s than it has been in my 40s and 50s.
Yes.
So, with like, depending on how old you are listening to this episode, um, I feel like every decade, like for me, the 20s were like a litmus test for figuring out who I was outside of my parents' house, what I liked, what I didn't, what I'd accept, what I wouldn't. And it was a lot like it was a balance of misery and mischievousness, like, for me.
Yeah, well, it was building a life and
Mhm.
figuring out what you wanted that life to look like. And
Yeah.
I mean, I was married pretty young,
How
uh,
old were you when you got married?
23.
Oh, see, I was 27.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a baby.
You
Uh,
were a baby.
yeah, yeah, I graduated college and got married that summer.
So how old were you when you had your first baby?
26.
Okay. See, and I think I was 28.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes a difference. Like I really do feel it makes a difference on like how well you trust yourself
Yeah.
and how much life you've lived. And then like what did you think your 30s were like?
My
Like if you could
30,
define them in a sentence of being a female in her 30s with four children and a did you have your studio then?
I got my studio at 35.
Okay, so halfway through.
Yeah, so halfway through. Yeah, I think my 30s were a lot of reinvention and figuring it out. Like I thought I had it figured out in my 20s. And
Yeah.
then things change and stuff gets upended and you have to figure it out again and and things you don't expect to happen. It was just a lot of
Yeah.
ups and downs and
Hmm.
just trying to life and knowing more than I did in my 20s. In my 20s, I felt like I was naive on a lot of stuff, like having fun, like you said, a lot of mischief until I
Yeah.
became a mom, but then it was still trying to figure out how to do this, and like what are we building and what
Yeah.
do we want for ourselves and
Well,
still
it's
learning.
me to we, right? Like the me to we in for the sole purpose of this other human that we've now brought into the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because like for both of us, we got married and then pretty quickly had kids. I mean, it wasn't,
Mhm.
a long time of let's figure out what we are as a couple and, it
Yeah,
was like get married, have a house, have a baby. Like, I mean, it was just, and then my kids came 2.5 years apart, so it was just we were rocking and rolling. Um,
yeah.
Ryan was my last one at 33, so I had him.
You got after it.
I did 8 years, 8 years. But also, I didn't want to be pregnant forever. I mean, I feel like I was pregnant for like a decade in there. Not really, but uh,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
but that's fair because it's like they're in you, and then it's like rent's due, like get out.
right.
You get to that point. And I loved, like for me, I actually, I'm gonna say it, like I loved being pregnant
I did
and
too.
I had easy deliveries. Sorry for all the women out there that cannot relate to that. And I do think after 8 hours of labor, you should be able to charge your doctor back because they're obviously not doing enough for you.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah, I agree. I loved being pregnant. I was very lucky. I was never sick.
no,
I felt pretty good all the way until, right at the end when you're just nobody feels good. Like you're just 36 weeks. I was like, ooh, your lungs are developed enough. You can come anytime you want. Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I loved being pregnant. And then my deliveries were all C-sections. So, I mean, I guess you could say they were pretty easy, but I bounced back pretty fast after them.
Yeah.
It didn't,
Which makes a huge difference too.
yeah.
And then, like for me, I had like Dylan and Nate were, I think they were 17 months apart, but Dylan slept through the night at a week old.
Oh, see, you were lucky there.
I know. I actually lost some friends over that because they were so jealous. And I'm like,
Are you
hey,
serious?
I couldn't talk about it.
Wow.
They didn't like that I was showered and showing up for work. And yeah, no, like it's women handle things differently and it's fine.
I
It's
think
fine.
I'll say when you and I were having kids and raising babies, it was very different culture for women back then. Like, I
Yeah,
think now women are a lot more open. I mean, I will say this generation is a lot more open about their struggles with fertility, about their struggles getting pregnant, um,
yeah.
being pregnant, having babies, all the things. I mean, sometimes it feels like they share too much, but then also, I think they're also a little more supportive of each other. Like they understand everybody's journey is different. Um,
I I think they're more supportive online. I don't know if they're so supportive in person.
hmm.
Like I feel like I like if somebody shared something with me, like I think I'm old enough, I'm still the generation they'd show up with a casserole so I didn't have to make supper.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
like hands-on help? I think they've got a lot more emotional help, but
yeah.
I think I mean I could be wrong and this is a generalization too. But I feel like people are really lacking what I would call a true friendship where you actually show up at the door to offer support.
Well, that for sure. Yes.
Like I had three friends and we would go clean each other's houses.
Yeah.
We took our kids with us and it was like we had fun doing it because you'd make coffee, you'd turn on the tunes, you'd dance, you'd clean their house, you'd go to the next one's house.
Yeah. I mean, we went, I mean, when for the first of us that had a baby, the three of us, well, she was not the organized one. But my other friend and I went to her house and like we organized the baby's nursery, we folded the clothes, we put them all like in the way they needed to go.
Yeah.
We got the changing table all set up for her. Because she was like, "Oh, it'll be fine," and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it won't. This poor child is going to be naked, or you're going to be stressed out because you can't find anything. Like, you have to have, yeah. So, we set up everything for her. We also, when she moved into their house, we set up her kitchen. I mean, that's just the way that we've
The
been.
way you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I don't know that this generation maybe is that hands-on, like, hey, I'm just going to show up and do things for you. But I think as far as the verbal support and like every
100%.
different and you don't have
Yeah.
to have the same journey that I do and
Yeah.
like
There's
that.
a lot more acceptance and a lot more, like I said, like online emotional support.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think it's also easier for them to find their people with social
Yes.
media and being online. So maybe that's it.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hmm.
Right? Look at us.
You know,
Look at us find new topics. Okay.
which is not at all what we were going to talk about today.
No,
But it
no.
kind of goes with it because we were talking about, that feeling of, I think, especially as women,
Mhm.
needing to be liked. And so we've learned through many years and many trials and a lot of errors and hardship,
Society.
a whole lot of anxiety, uh,
Mhm.
that that's not always the way it needs to be. And I
No.
think women as leaders struggle with this likability trap.
Yeah. Well, I remember like growing up, if a woman was sharing her opinion and it might not be popular, not wrong, but just not popular, like the term loudmouth being used. Well, she's just a loudmouth, or she's overbearing, or she's this, or that. And it's like, but men were never talked about in the same manner. So it was taught through like years of society that good women stay silent and appeasing.
They're agreeable. I
They're
mean, think about it.
agreeable.
You have little girls. You have a little girl who is strong and assertive in the classroom, who has leadership skills, who is going to tell people what to do and how to do
Mm-hmm.
it. She's considered bossy.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a little boy who exhibits the same traits, who does the same things. He's considered a leader.
Yeah.
And we still struggle with that.
Mm-hmm. I do think it's getting better, but it's not fixed.
I don't think it's fixed yet. Yeah, I think we still have this really hard time understanding that a, when a little girl takes charge, how do we direct, where we direct boys into leadership and talk to them about being good leaders and what does that mean and how do you do that? We don't have that same conversation with girls. And I think even in this day and age where we know that those are leadership skills, where we should be pushing girls to develop those skills, I think a lot of times we're still like, hey, don't be too much.
We're guiding them to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I unfortunately, I think it has to start with men noticing it, calling it out, and saying, "Hey, not okay," for it to truly get to where it's fixed and changed.
Yeah.
So like I'm starting with my own husband, and I love him. He is fantastic, but the amount of times that he will mansplain something to me,
Mansplaining.
and so I've just taken in my sarcastic, you know how I love sarcasm. I'm like, oh heavens, what would I have ever done without your assistance in explaining this movie to me? Thank you so much. And he's like, oh, I'm doing like, but to his credit, he's like, I'm doing it again. I'm like, you're doing it again.
Are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, between the mansplaining and then the always needing to make everybody happy. I was reading, I don't know, there's like this new trend on TikTok lately, and it's
Yeah.
about some book. I should have written it down because I knew we were going to talk about this, but it was this book, and you know how like sometimes on TikTok they'll like tell this story, and you have to swipe to read the story.
Yep. Yep.
You get sucked in, and you're
Yep.
down the rabbit hole. But it was a
Yep.
story about this lady who was saying that, her mom left her dad after 30 plus years of marriage.
Mhm.
No real reason other than she felt like she lost herself. And, it wasn't like he had an affair, it wasn't like there was any like nefarious thing that happened. And she
Yeah.
felt like her mom was so selfish and how could she destroy the marriage and the family and all of this.
Huh?
and then later, a couple of years later, as she as a young woman is in a relationship and everything's are fine, but they're just not quite there, and she starts to feel kind of the same things, like, is this really what I want for the rest of my life? She felt like, not in a bad way, like she wasn't forced to feel smaller, but like on some things she needed to compromise more than maybe she wanted to. And one day she ended up talking to her mom and was in tears and was like, I just don't know what to do. And her mom gave her this book, and it was like a book that was like, don't lose yourself in the process of making everybody happy. And
Yeah.
you deserve to be happy yourself. You deserve
Yeah.
to have the life that you want, not the life that you chose when you were 20 or when you were young and you didn't know any better. And, it's not up to you to make everybody comfortable and happy all the time. And that's not your responsibility. And so, anyway, it had this like all this
Oh, I
about it.
love that.
Yeah. And, and she was like, and then I understood my mom, like I understood why. Um,
Why?
but I think a lot of us fall into that trap. We fall into that trap at home. We fall into that trap in whatever career we've chosen, especially if you are in a predominantly female based career,
Mhm.
like you're a teacher or a nurse or,
Mhm.
social work,
Dance
things
studio
like
owner.
dance studio owner, places where, it's more of a female led
Yeah.
pathway. But when you look at administration, tends to be more male based, not so much in dance studio ownership, but like that, it doesn't match, right? Like the
Yeah.
top down. And you're also serving others. If you are in a field where you are serving others,
Mhm.
that's your day to day. I mean, you are taught to make other people happy, make other people comfortable, to absorb everybody's emotions, and no, you can't have boundaries because how
Yes.
dare you not be there for these people? How dare
Mhm.
you not sacrifice yourself to serve the children?
Or your husband. Like, and I, just speaking on this, I am like, the older I get, whatever, the more I'm like, of course, people are getting divorced during perimenopause and menopause. Because I feel as a woman, that's when you actually have enough confidence, life experience, whatever it is, to stand up and say, I'm going to do some things for me. But man, does that shock the people around you in your life that you have looked after, serviced, da 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 da. And my husband and I had an interesting conversation about this because he's been reading up on menopause.
Smart
He
man.
like smart, but also he likes to come to me and tell me about it. And I'm like,
Oh, so he's gonna mansplain menopause to you?
no, no, no. He
Oh, okay.
doesn't mansplain. He's trying to understand and like, but I have to check myself before I wreck myself because he's coming to me to understand. And I feel like I need to adopt the why are you asking me this? Are you looking for
Information.
information or permission? And sometimes we ask for permission first to have this conversation. Because legit this morning, I got out of bed, I was pouring my smoothie into the cup, and he's so excited to share with me what he's learned about me and my body. And I'm just like,
Oh
okay,
boy.
okay. I like, and but it's like the intentions are so good and so pure. How do I? So I looked at him and I'm like, this is the equivalent of me waking up and you wanting to talk budgets and spreadsheets, which he knows is a no-no because we've lived together and worked together in the business long enough. He's like, we don't talk money first thing in the morning. That's she needs coffee or breakfast or both.
Both.
Maybe a back rub, like if we want it to go well. Because I don't like I'll go through the numbers. I know it's necessary. It's not what I want to wake up to because it's not easy. And I want to ease into my day at this stage.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when I said that to him, he got it. And I'm like, I know your intentions are pure. Like I don't doubt for 1 second what your intentions are, but it doesn't change how it feels in my body's having somebody who has no idea and couldn't have any idea because you don't have the hormones. You've never birthed children. You've never then had to also give your body over to your husband. And not that you're giving it, that's a bad way to say it. But
But
who
yeah,
who goes to his body and
ropes,
at it, gropes at it, sits on it, plays with it, talks about it, like
right?
feels like they're right. Dads don't have kids or wives typically that feel it's their right to invade their personal space or their body. That cannot be said the same for women.
No.
And so it led to we had this great conversation about it actually, but I said to him, sometimes like when a woman's going through menopause, like we don't always want to have sex the same way that we did when we were younger. And it has absolutely nothing to do with you. And he was like, oh, oh. And I'm like, it's everything about her, but also it's a little bit of like, when does my body get to be my own again? And he was like he couldn't understand that. I'm like, I just sit with that for a little bit and think about like when the boys were little, I would be sitting on the toilet. We lived in a trailer, and you know how there's the gap in the door?
Hmm.
Okay, so my experience going to the bathroom. I'm on the toilet. I get like the 2 seconds or whatever they allow you before they realize you're not in the room. And then four little hands under the door, like in the horror movies, coming to get you. Are you planting a cactus? Because that's what their grandfather taught them to ask. Like, are you pooping? And it's like, while it was hilarious and funny, it was also me on the other side of the door going like,
Just need like 2 minutes to myself.
if I am, can I not explain it or describe it or talk about it? Can I just do the function like you get to do? Like, do you want to explain your poop every time you go to the bathroom? Do you do this to dad? Like, and with dad, they're like, oh, I don't want to go. It's stinky in there.
Right.
Man, so he was like, oh, like when I said to him, like, at what point does a woman's body get to become her own again? And I don't think I've ever said anything more real. Like it was just, I had that moment for myself where it was like, that's a damn fine question, Patty Johnston.
Well, and I think for anybody who is in that time, I remember so clearly when my kids were little,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just all the time. Somebody is touching you. You are nursing a baby. You have a
Yeah.
toddler on your hip. They're grabbing onto your leg. They're pulling your hair. The baby is like everything's getting pulled all the time. You are touched all
The
day
time.
long. All
Yeah.
day. And not sweet, kind touches because children are not kind and they're not
No,
gentle. And, I mean, and it is just constant. And then your husband is like, comes in to touch, to grope, and unprovoked, not reading the room. And he's like, oh my God. Like, I just, especially when I was nursing, I was like, can you just, when do my boobs become my own again?
yeah.
Where there's
Yeah.
like a leave them alone. So, like, no touching for 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
say
Get
you're
away.
done. Like, this whole body. I mean,
Yeah.
and you already don't feel comfortable in your body. I think, and menopause is the same way. Everything is changing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bodily functions are changing. Like one day you are feeling great, and the next day you're constipated and you're miserable and you're having hot flashes. And that's the and you like haven't slept all night, and then he rolls over in the morning and he's like, good morning, and like touching, and you're, oh,
Yes.
just
And
where,
then the next day or 5 minutes later, you'll be like, I want to jump that guy.
right, yeah. But in that moment, no.
No, I know. And it's always in their moment when they're trying to initiate it.
And you're like, stop.
Like, do we have to do that?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, 5 minutes later, you're like, that's actually a pretty good idea. Let's go. And they're like, and like, I don't blame them for being confused. I'm confused.
Right. Yeah, usually it's like they've gone to like get ready for the day and now they're pooping on the toilet and you're like, "Hey." And then after you realize what's going on, you're like, "Oh, okay, just never mind."
Yeah,
Just
just kidding.
kidding. Let's just get along with the day and let's keep
I
going.
retract my previous statements.
I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. It's like we just can't ever seem to like sync the
Yeah.
time and yeah, and the permission thing of your body is just hard. It's really, really hard when you are a mom and
Yeah.
a wife. Like I think as a wife, before we had kids, it was a little bit different. But then once you become a mom and you're a wife, and now it's like more people need you physically and want to touch you physically, like it just becomes so much, and it really is hard. Um, and then, but you feel guilty for setting boundaries.
Yes. And
And
you get that because you're like, a loving wife should want to make her husband happy. And a loving wife or a loving mother should want to have that closeness with her children. And to a degree, yes. But a loving mother and a loving wife also should know, or I'm going to take the word should out because I'm shitting all over myself here. A loving wife and a loving mother has the right to also pour into herself because she pours into everybody else's cup, and you cannot fill others' cups when yours is empty. It must be overflowing in order to fill others.
absolutely.
Also, not always your job to have to fill everybody else's cup. Contribute to it, sure, but fill it should have a little bit of personal responsibility of the owner of the cup, too.
Especially in a marriage.
Mm-hmm. And then let's just layer on, if you decided to open a business and you lead other people, so you also chose to, look after more people and inspire and raise them into the best versions of themselves through the service that you provide at your business. It's just another layer of being needed, of being wanted, of not being liked,
Oh,
and finding peace within yourself to go, I've done what I can, and I'm good with it.
and
And
I
I
think
don't own it all.
yeah, and that's the hardest part. And I think that took me the longest time to learn and to be okay with what
Yeah.
I've done what I can.
Yeah.
This is within the boundaries that I have set, or, at
Mhm.
school, these are within the rules and what I'm allowed to do. And I've done everything I can to help you. And I need, but also, I will say teachers. I'm going to go into the teacher mode here
Yeah.
because it applies in dance studios too. But there is this crazy expectation that teachers should be available 24/7. And we've talked about this before about creating our own boundaries. And that as a studio owner, we're not accessible to you all the time. But teachers are the same way, and they really, really struggle with that because parents really do expect that teacher is going to answer that email at 10 o'clock at night, or they email you at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and then they're livid on Monday morning because you haven't emailed them back.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
like, when did it become that you are not a person anymore? And some of it is because we allow that to happen, because we
Yes.
do respond to those emails and we do answer those phone calls. And we are sitting, I mean, plus, I was at the nail salon the other day, and there is, at first, I was like, oh, you know what? I would love her to be a teacher at my school. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, no. So here's what happened. I was sitting there getting my nails done, boring nails because I have to have surgery and you're not allowed to have color. And I'm so sad about it, but it's okay. I will
Your
get there.
color's coming back. It's coming back.
It will come back in a couple weeks when I can sit back down for them. And Tina and I just had a moment of mourning over
Mhm.
my boring nails. But So I'm sitting there, we're doing my nails, chatting, and then I hear this lady over in the pedicure chair, and she's on the phone. And first you're like, why are you on the phone in the salon?
Yeah.
But you hear her talking, and she's like, oh, yeah, when they come in, this is what's going to happen. And is there anything that I need to know about your child? So I could tell just from the conversation, I was like, oh, she's the teacher. She's talking to this parent,
Hmm.
obviously called her, and she was just like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm relaxing now. I'm at the nail salon getting my nails done, but it's okay. I have some time to talk to you." And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Why? Why are
Mm-hmm.
you taking the time that you are doing for self-care and you are talking to this parent who it was very clear in the conversation you had called a couple times. They didn't answer the phone because it wasn't convenient for them. But then you're expected to
Yeah.
answer the phone and have this conversation when it's not convenient for you, but now it's a good time for them.
But you want to have the conversation.
But
And
you want
I'm
to,
going to add to that. What she's unwillingly or like unknowingly doing is also making that parent now question the next teacher that doesn't do that.
correct. Or anytime in the year for the rest of this year that she doesn't pick up the phone immediately and
Yeah.
talk to this mom and have this 20-minute long conversation and answer every question that she has when it's convenient for her.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I understand. I understand the teacher guilt on it of like, oh, I really want to have this conversation. Oh, I finally hear back from this mom. Let me answer this phone. But at what point do we set those boundaries? Because we are teaching people how to
How to
treat
treat it.
us.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
and then we hear about teachers burning out, we hear about business leaders burning out because they're like, I never have time for myself, I am on 24/7, I can't breathe, all I do is work and deal with this business or this job,
Mhm.
and it takes away time from my kids, it takes away time from my husband, it takes away time from anything that I enjoy, I can't do it anymore.
I will say this is one of the things that my husband, and I'm going to say bless him, and I'm actually going to mean it. It's not sarcastic. Um, he has said to me multiple times, very gently, you've done this to yourself.
Yeah.
And while it's not easy to hear, he is not wrong. And it's like, so are you going to continue to accept it or are you going to make some changes? Because that lies within. Like,
It's so true. I mean, I
uh,
personally, same thing. Not talking to parents. I mean, I set those boundaries,
me too.
but I've learned. I mean, I was not always like that. Absolutely
No,
not. Absolutely not. Not in
no.
the studio and not as a teacher. But as I grew and learned and was no longer in my 20s and 30s,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, and no. But on a personal side, like I've spent all summer teaching in the studio. We wanted to make sure payroll was low.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have time and I enjoy it. I really love it.
Yeah.
But also knowing that my hip has been not in a good place for a very long time. And at the beginning of the summer, I got kicked out of physical therapy, sent back to the doctor because something is really wrong. I keep teaching 3 nights a week,
Mm-hmm.
good amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Classes where I have to demonstrate technique. I mean, I'm not teaching babies. I'm not teaching like the older kids where you can like talk them through what you want to do. No, I mean, these are the 8 to 10, 11-year olds, and these are
Yeah.
the advanced ballet where like I can a little bit. This is adult tap, these are this
Yeah.
is not easy stuff. And I would come home and I'm like limping and in pain. And Mike's like, and especially once we knew that I was going to have surgery. And he's like, so you think that was a smart choice? Like, I didn't have a choice. And he's like, but didn't you? you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right, but also
Yeah.
like I'm determined I'm going to teach up until I have to have the surgery, because I don't want to let the kids down. And it's that internal guilt of I don't want to let anybody down. I don't
Yeah.
want to burden anybody else with having to cover my classes. So I will put things off that I need to do for me because
In pain while you're doing it the whole time.
in pain while I'm doing it, suffering because it makes everybody else's life easier.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
problem.
It is, and it's one that we take on far too often and for too long.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. So let's talk
Yeah.
nice versus kind
Oh, I love this.
because there's a difference.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give an example?
Yes.
I have one from Trevor Noah. Like
Okay. Oh, I
really,
love Trevor Noah.
I love Trevor Noah too. And I really, yeah, just I love a lot of what he stands for. But he said he would far rather be kind than nice. And nice is when your friend has a little like smooch on their face and you don't say anything because you don't want to make them embarrassed. Kind is going, you got a little something, something there, friend. So they can fix it and not walk around in public with food on their face.
Yeah.
It might make both of you a little uncomfortable in the moment, but the intention and the end result is love and care,
Right.
right? And I love that just as a generalization of like, one is not causing anybody discomfort or uncomfortability because so many people run away from this. And the other one might cause temporary uncomfortableness, but is much more loving and caring in the long run and long term.
Yeah. Well, think about it in parenting.
Okay.
Nice is you're going to make whatever dinner they want all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They want chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. You're going to make that for them every night, even though you've cooked a completely different dinner and
Mm-hmm.
you have spent all your time on that. Kind is here's what's for dinner.
Yeah.
You have your choice.
Yeah.
If you don't like what's being served, you don't have to eat it,
Yeah.
right? You're creating a boundary. You're not being mean about it. I mean, and obviously, like a 2 and 3 year old may be a little bit different, but at the same
Choose your battles.
yeah, at the same
Yeah.
time, I mean, there is, and I mean, I've told my kids, well, if you don't like what we're having for dinner, you can go make yourself your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I've made, and so these are your choices. It's having that kind of that discipline and that boundary set of either, oh, I'll bend the rules for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's being nice. But once you bend the rules for one, it's going to be expected for everybody.
Yeah.
Where being kind is, I'm going to enforce the rules across the board.
Yeah.
Like these are the things that we've set, these are the rules, the boundaries, the expectations.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we've decided, and this is what I'm going to enforce. And as a leader, you have to be the person who says, these are the expectations, the boundaries, the rules, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to enforce it fairly. I'm going to hold everybody accountable to the same standard.
Yeah.
I am going to call everyone out when they don't meet that standard.
I love the thought that if it's bendable or breakable, it's not a rule. And
Right.
I think people make way too many rules. It's a far better experience to have less rules, but they are like written in stone that like to me it's like a virtue or a like like whether it's lying or stealing, like there is no situation where stealing is okay, point blank, right? Like, or like if that's your rule. I and like with parenting too, if it's bendable or breakable, it's not something that, like, to have those wishy-washy conversations with. I want to have a environment in my home where my kids don't have a reason to lie to me, right? Like, don't give them a reason to lie to you. Don't give your staff a reason to lie to you, and they won't. Make the human experience normalized. And there's gonna, like, and I just did an onboarding with a new teacher, and I said to her, my biggest thing is respect and trust. You have the keys to my building. You have access to my systems because I respect and I trust you. The only things that are going to break that are when you mess up, if you come to me or you let me find out, or worse, you try to cover it up. I fully expect you to mess up because I screw up. Like, I probably screw up more than anybody else at my business, but it's like, but I will be forthcoming with it and say, guys, I messed this up and I'm going to take accountability for it. And here's how we're going to fix it, which causes me to respect even more. Not like, oh my God, you're a screw up. So if I expect my staff to be understanding when I do that, they they need to know I'm going to be the same way with them.
Right.
Please do come to me when you've messed up. And I'm going to ask you, what do you think we should do to fix it? I'm not going to fix it for you. You messed it up. But I'm going to help you and I'm going to support you and I'm going to guide you.
Yeah.
And we might do it together, depending on like what it is and the severity. But usually if people mess up, it's not even as bad as they think it is.
No. Well, it's
Right.
the fear of taking that accountability that really causes
And
problems.
the fallout of the consequence.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like let's just have the conversation now. You're gonna screw something up here.
Right.
So this is the proper procedure when you do. And but same thing at home with the kids. You're going to mess up.
You're a kid.
Use the proper procedure system, whatever,
Yep.
when that happens, in order for us to maintain trust with you. Because when we lose trust, you lose privileges.
Well, and I think it's also, I mean, we go back to the values all the time.
Yeah.
These are, I call them tights and looses at school
Mm-hmm.
and at the
Oh, I
studio.
love this.
These are my tights. These are my looses.
Yeah.
The tights are the things I'm not going to waver on.
Yeah.
That is that is a non-negotiable. There are looses that, we can talk about, we can finagle, we can work through.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing
Yeah.
and how we're doing it and why. You know,
Yeah.
we're not, it's not up for discussion.
Yeah.
They're the tights. And same kind of thing at home. Like these are the tights. These are the things that as a family, that no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. You will
Yeah.
not be an asshole. Like the end. That
Yeah.
is no, no, we will be kind. We will be kind to everyone. You will not bully. You won't be nasty online. You won't talk about people ugly. You like, no, do not. Like, if anything, I am going to have people say that I have kind humans. And if they're not, and I hear about it,
Mm-hmm.
it is on in my house. And my children will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are tights, and then there are things that, okay, like what color you want your hair? I'm not going to get into a battle over that.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
want your hair floofy and crazy and I think it looks stupid? Okay, fine. That's your choice. You're going to regret that when you're 30 looking back at your pictures, but you do you, you
Yeah.
know? Like
Yeah.
there are just, I think there are some things that it's not, you pick your battles, right? We've learned that. But I think also in business and I think in leadership, you
Mm-hmm.
pick your battles. Are
Yeah.
you going to get on every little thing? I mean, is it they didn't do the toilet paper right and it's under and not over?
Mm-hmm.
I know you have a process and a procedure for it, but is
Is
that
that a sword worth dying on that hill that day?
correct?
Yeah. I
Exactly.
love I love Dr. Jody. You and I both love Dr. Jody.
Yes.
Her whole philosophy on this is be kind, take no bullshit in that order.
In that order. Yep.
But if somebody, like, and I'm going to speak to business on this. If you're doing business with somebody and they are becoming a pain in the butt, and they don't want to follow the rules and they don't want to listen or they don't want to honor the contracts that they've signed or whatever the thing may be, you can still be kind and put a full stop to it.
Absolutely.
Are they going to feel that you're being kind? No. But did you jump up and down and scream and yell at them? Also, no. You're just like, this is where it stops. I understand that's what you want. I'm not willing to go there with you. It's not that I don't want you to eat. It's just not going to be at my table. Thank you very much and have yourself a blessed day.
Yep. I like to tell people, and I've said this to many people, but I've looked at them and I'm like, and especially when you're talking about an employee, I'm talking to a teacher who, doesn't like the way that we're running the school, whatever it is,
Yeah. Or that you gave them a no.
or that I gave them a no. They're not
Yeah.
getting their way, well, this
Yeah.
isn't the way things have been done. Well, okay, guess what? New sheriff's in town, so we're doing things differently. You can be joyfully on board or you can gracefully exit. There is always an exit for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
We're not going to go back and forth. This is the way it's going to be. These are the things that we've said. This is the direction we're going. This is how we've decided to go here. We've already had conversations. We've already gone through the whys. We've already worked through the process. You can be joyfully on board or you can gracefully exit.
Yeah.
That's it. And the same thing with like angry dance moms, with people who don't like the way that you're running your business. It is absolutely okay to say, this is the way that I operate at my dance studio. There are 50 other ones in this town.
Yeah.
You can be joyfully on board with our processes, procedures, and our philosophy in education, or you can gracefully exit and find a studio that better fits you and what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to pay your bill on time.
Yeah.
So sorry.
I was giggling because I was thinking of a parenting moment, and I'm pretty sure it was with Dylan. Because that boy challenged me on everything. Everything I said, he had an argument for. And I know that I had given him a no, and I can't even remember what it was about, but he kept coming, and I looked at him dead in the eye, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Did I stutter? And he was just like, I'm like, I was kind of taken back, like aggressive thinking across too, but also, like I said what I said.
Yeah.
I said what I said. Yeah.
I've looked at kids and I'm like, did I say that in Chinese?
Yeah.
Because we seem to be having some trouble understanding what is the expectation here.
What's actually happening here?
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that was a non-negotiable."
Yeah.
This is not, I will say this with kids a lot. I don't say this with adults, even though I think it in my head, but and I probably shouldn't always say it with kids, but sometimes kids get the sarcasm, and I'm like, this is not a democracy. It's a dictatorship, or I'm like, or it's like it's a
Mhm.
monarchy and I'm the queen. Sit
Yeah.
down. They're like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Because they
gosh.
do. They think, kids think everything is up for negotiation, and it's not. And
Especially now. Especially now.
especially now. And
Well, and the thing that ties with that too, though, the coolest teachers and the ones that the kids like most are also the ones that they respect
yes,
the most. Not typically the ones that are the most popular, because the most popular ones are the ones that they're popular for a bit, a week, a month, a season. They are not popular long term.
that goes with leadership. That goes
Yeah.
with um, even parenting. We have this whole debate in the world about like you're not their friend, you're their parent. Grow up and be their parent.
Yeah.
Stop being their friend. Stop trying to
Yeah.
make them happy all the time. Stop giving them everything they want when they want it because you are raising monsters. The world does not work that way. And
Yeah.
not because it's a cruel world and it's unfair and blah, blah. Like it just doesn't. There are rules, there are laws, there are.
Well, and most of those ones are the unwritten ones. Like they're not the ones in the Constitution. They're like the playground rules, the things you're supposed to learn in kindergarten,
Yeah.
right?
But you have parents coming in and trying to bulldoze their way through it because their child's feelings got hurt. Or, you
Yeah.
know, I saw a Facebook post the other day about a mom who was like, I don't understand. My kid is in second grade and nobody wants to be their friend. And yeah.
I
And
can tell you why.
right. I'm like,
Yep.
hmm.
What are you, and even the way that that question is phrased, nobody wants to be her friend. You're putting the blame on everybody else. Have you talked to your child about how they approach others to be friends? How do they approach play? How do they approach, like, if your child is a common denominator, I'm not saying they are, but if they are, if everybody else in their class is getting invited to birthday parties except your child may be the problem.
Right.
And I'm sorry if that's true, but for the love of God, if they're in elementary school, there is time to fix it. Please fix it so that they don't become unhappy teenagers, adults.
And I think that's, and I understand. I understand as a parent, it is so hard to accept that maybe there is something wrong. But we want to blame everybody else. We want to call it bullying. We want to call it, that everybody hates them. It's the school system. It's, you put blame on everyone else and you miss looking at what is actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand not everybody understands what normal behavior is. Not everybody understands what normal child development is and how kids learn through play and how they learn social cues on the playground and how they have to learn to manage conflict and not always get their way and, to have to compromise on what they're doing. And especially with kids who haven't been socialized a lot, they were home with mom and doing whatever they wanted to do for a very long period of time. That transition, especially if they don't go to school until kindergarten, is really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
hard. And socially, they're behind. And I think we miss a lot of that importance of how do we socialize children in a
Yes.
healthy way? And how do we help them work through conflict, to
Yeah.
work through uncomfortableness, to work through, new environments when you are not the part of the group, right? And how do you make friends in new environments?
Yeah.
We don't do that, and we don't have those conversations with them when they're little. And then we want to blame everybody else for
Yeah.
having those social deficits. And um, yeah, it's, you know, it,
Well, and managing their emotions is the biggest thing. Like in dance, when they were 3, one of the hardest, like when I started, one of the hardest things to teach them was to wait their turn in line,
mm,
to go across. Right? Remember that? Like,
yes,
no, we wait our turn, we wait our turn, we wait our
yep.
turn. Now, teaching wait your turn, you're also doing like emotional control because some of these kids are having full blown temper tantrums, or they're crying, or they're hiding in the corner because they're too afraid to even go across the floor where kids used to be the most fearless beings on the planet. And it's like, we've got to look at the way that we're educating them on, the simple things like, yes, I know that you want that toy, but it's their turn to play with it.
Oh, sharing.
And it's okay for you to have all of those emotions and you not want them to have it, but it's not okay for you to rob them of the opportunity to play with it. Because
Yep.
it's not always about you. Like, full stop.
Full stop.
Um,
Well,
full
and
stop.
I mean, and that goes back into the whole resilience thing and
Yeah.
kids who you need to finish what you started and understanding that just because they don't like something or they don't want something in that moment doesn't mean that they're not going to like it or want it later. As the adult, we have to be the mature person to help them work through these difficulties instead of every time they express uncomfortableness or frustration or I want to quit, that we're like, oh, that's it.
Or like
I
I'm
haven't
gonna
even had a
I'm
conversation around it. Like when kids are uncomfortable, when they're saying they want to quit something that 2 weeks ago they were all in on, rather than just sending an email and saying, oh, they want to quit, because you know that's not actually the way it's going to work in the world, right? Like you can't quit school, you can't quit your job. I mean, I guess you can, but you shouldn't
yeah,
because you have bills to pay. So, but we're allowing kids to just quit because they just don't feel like doing it anymore
yeah,
now,
yeah,
rather than why? What's going on? Trying to get to the bottom of like where these feelings are coming from and how they came to that conclusion that quitting is the thing that they should do.
yeah.
But now we have adults who have been raised that way and they're in the job force and we're
Yeah.
having to manage them.
Well, and they can't see anything through. And as soon as it gets uncomfortable, they quit. And I actually just had this conversation with a friend of mine that owns a business, and she's like, she's hiring. And like where we live, there is like, the Facebook group, like the whatever, whatever confessions, or like, I'm looking for this work. Nobody's hiring me. I've given out 38 resumes. I'm not even getting a phone call. And it's like, oh, I've trained my office staff when we're hiring for admin positions. I'm like, if they don't have a job that has at least 2 years of length, depending on their age, like if they're new into the workforce, that's different. But if they haven't lasted at a job for more than 2 years, I'm like, we're not even picking up the phone for an interview. And we've had stacks, like stacks of resumes, and we're down to four.
Yeah,
It is so telling. It is just so telling. So it's like, it's called a job for a reason. And for employees entering the workforce, research who you're working for. Make sure it's a good fit for you before you apply. You don't just want a job, because if you hate it and you quit in 2 weeks, I'm telling you, a future employer is going to look at that and go, it might be the difference between you getting an interview and you not. It's like, it's crazy.
it
But
is.
let's get back to like the CEO, like um the thing about,
Respect versus popularity.
yeah, respect versus popularity. Like as a CEO, when you're looking at making decisions, like, and which way are you choosing? Ask yourself the question, would I make this decision differently if nobody judged me?
Hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah, you probably have a very different answer. And I also like, am I avoiding conflict or am I practicing compassion?
Yeah. And be real about that, because it's easy to justify it as compassion when really you're just being a chicken. Put your
Correct.
big girl panties on and let's go.
I mean, how many times have you and I, we've had this conversation so many times of, we make the excuse, we give every excuse under the book, we give grace way too many times, and we really should have fired that person
Yeah.
10
I
years.
love this now. When I'm faced with a difficult conversation, I can truly say this, I am actually getting to the point where I am looking forward to it. Because instead of looking at it as a difficult conversation, I'm looking at it as an opportunity to test the skills that I've been building to see if I've gotten better.
There you go.
And I'm like, it is such a mind shift, but it's like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's like, and I feel like because I'm entering it that way, I'm much more calm. I'm not poised for conflict. I'm poised for resolution. Like how do we get
How do we move
this?
forward from here?
Yeah, how do we take this problem and find a solution that's mutually beneficial? Nobody wins, nobody loses. We both walk away with as much of what we want as possible.
Right.
That's the guiding light to, yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. It can
Yeah,
be
I mean, I
fun.
think it's, yeah, you're coming into it on how do we resolve this issue? How can
Yeah,
we work together to come to some kind of understanding, agreement,
yeah,
resolution so we can
yeah,
move forward?
yeah,
And also coming back to what is the why? I pull that out with teachers all the time, and I will ask
Mhm.
them, especially if, they're coming back about whatever policy or whatever they don't like, and I'll flat out look at them and say, "Are you explain to me what you're worried about and how this will hurt kids?"
Mhm.
Ultimately, our goal and our purpose here is to do what's best for kids.
Mhm.
So I understand you don't like that you have third period planning, but how is that going to hurt kids? Because that needs to be the purpose of our conversation, not how
Yeah.
it hurts you, not how it messes up your schedule and you can't go home and feed your dog and you can't go do this and you can't, now your doctor's appointments have to be later in the afternoon, whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's all about you, and I'm still not hearing what's best for kids and why you having fourth period planning and able to leave early when you want to is best for kids.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
It'll
Mhm.
tell you a whole lot, and especially when you're in any kind of like, I mean, I say that with dance teachers too. I'm
Yeah.
like, how is this best for kids?
Yeah. I think sometimes too, if you have to direct them to kind of see they're doing it for them and not actually the benefit of, or the purpose of why they're there.
Tells you
Do
a
you know
lot
what,
about
like,
who they are.
well, sometimes you have to guide people to see it though. They don't see it. They just know what they want and they don't realize this is actually going to long term hurt you in this role.
Right.
Like, how do I give you a bit of rope without letting you hang yourself with it? Because you just, like you're not experienced enough, or you haven't gone down this road. Let me offer you a little bit of things
Yeah.
to look at. Yeah. So, and then I totally lost the sentence that I had. Welcome to menopause. Um,
Well, I think, I mean, going back to that, I mean, outside of just a teaching standpoint or an education standpoint, in customer service too. I mean, we all get into how we feel about things and what's best or easiest for us and how we want to handle stuff because this is what we believe and blah, 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 blah. But when you bring it back to our purpose is to serve our clients,
mhm.
and how does this best serve our client?
That was my question. Who does this serve?
Yeah.
And when they go, and sometimes they try to lie to themselves so they can justify it. And then you
Oh,
just go, okay, tell me, like, how, tell me how.
yeah. Oh, they'll spin it in every way possible. And I'm like, I need
But
some.
they can't sometimes when you ask
Right.
enough questions. Or
When you ask enough
or
questions and you really get them going and you're just like, explain that a little bit more to me. How does that serve
yeah,
the kids? Oh, okay. So you're a happier person. I'm still hearing you, not kids. Like, right, I mean, because they'll go around and around, and there are some
yeah,
great ones that can justify just about anything. I mean, they can try to convince you the sky's green and the grass is blue, but
yeah.
you as the leader keep asking the questions, be curious, and get them to
Well, it gets them to get to the answer that if you just told them would offend them
correct.
and get them to dig their heels in. Whereas if you can guide them to, and it doesn't even, you don't even have to agree on it, but if you can guide them to see your way of thinking or your point of view as well,
Right.
it's like, okay, now that you see my point of view and I've heard your point of view, how are we going to mutually come to something that works for both of us
Hmm.
for the purpose of serving these kids?
Right.
Because it has to do those three things. You
Yeah.
can't leave two out, yeah, or one
Yeah.
out or whatever, because then it always blows up.
All right.
But
Can we jump into can we say this out loud?
yeah,
Okay.
I love this one.
Being liked is not a leadership KPI.
It's true. Well, and
Parenting
some people
KPI.
and here's the thing that I wish women understood, especially like CEO women or women in leadership roles, if you're a manager of a team or whatever. Some people have been programmed since birth to dislike the boss or distrust the boss. That is
Hmm.
absolutely nothing to do with you. That is their programming from parenting. And you probably will not change it. And that's okay because it's not your job to do that. Your job is to make them the best version that they can be in the role that they're in under your leadership.
Yeah. And I think, I have had so many people say that they find me very intimidating.
Me too.
And it used to bother me.
Mm-hmm.
It used to make me feel like, oh, maybe I need to
Mm-hmm.
smile more. Like, ooh, maybe I'm coming across
That feels a bit political right now.
tense. Oh God, I know. Um, you know, but I almost wear it like a badge of honor now because I'm like, okay, if I'm intimidating, it's not about me, it's really about you. Why are
Yeah,
you intimidated by me? Is it
yeah,
because I come across confident? Is it because I know what I'm talking about and I'm not afraid to say it?
yeah,
And, or I'm gonna do what I say and say what I mean, and
yeah,
here it is. This is who I am. Um, I would have kids say that like at school, they're like, "Oh, she's so mean." I'm like, "Am I mean, or do I hold you to a standard and expect you to follow that?" Because
yeah,
mean would be me saying awful things to you and insulting
yeah,
you and doing things to you just to hurt you. Are you
yeah,
being hurt because I told you that you needed to be quiet when somebody else was talking?
yeah,
Or am I making you be polite and
yeah.
respectful? Because that is my job.
We had a great conversation about this once with my junior teachers, like the ones kind of coming up through the ranks. And they always get the floor to ask me questions. And one of them had said, like, how do I get them to pay attention to the corrections that I'm giving them? And I'm like, well, are you calling them out on it? Like if you in my classroom, if I give you a correction, and I usually do it as a blanket statement, let's just say, ladies, you need to point your toes when you're going across the floor in that. If they go across the floor again and nobody's pointing their toes or the correction is not being made, I now view it as I am ineffective as a teacher. So who needs to make the correction? Do they know how to feel it through their foot? How am I going to show them the way to feel it so that they can make the correction? And so, um, and we talked about those three things. And she's like, well, I don't always want to call out their name. And I'm like, why? And she goes, well, I don't want them to think I'm being mean. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, how many times have you had me as a teacher where you thought I was being mean to you that day? And they all kind of looked down sheepishly. I'm like, I know you've all thought I was mean to you. And we giggled and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, but how often did you question my care for your improvement or my care for you as a person? And they were like, oh, like I never questioned that. And I'm like, right. They don't have to like you, but they have to respect you enough to want to improve and think that you know what you're talking about. That makes you effective in the classroom. If you keep saying the same thing and nobody's making a change, you're ineffective as a teacher and you won't have a job for long. And those kids aren't improving, more importantly.
Well,
But
it's
I think it was that distinction. Like,
yeah.
yeah, you thought I was mean because you thought you were being picked on because you were given corrections. That is a normal human experience in that situation, depending on your level of confidence,
I mean,
right?
anybody being corrected is uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
we talk to leaders all the time about if you're going to just keep saying blanket statements, everybody's looking around like, well, that's not me.
Wasn't
You're not
me.
talking to me. Not talking to me. And
Yeah.
nobody's going to correct anything. But also, the people who are doing what they're supposed to do and are constantly hearing the corrections or getting the passive aggressive email or the just a
Yeah.
reminder, blah, 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 and nobody's
And
specifically called out, they're going to get tired of that.
yeah, because everybody else knows who's doing it.
Correct. Just address it to the person.
Yeah.
Go directly to the person. Have the conversation. That is a I don't know how to have a difficult conversation. Bad leader when you cannot go directly to the person and address the issue.
Yeah.
And so you
And
send blanket statements and passive aggressive emails and reminders of our policies.
who cares? Um, like if I got an email that was like reminders of our policies, I'm already making
Delete. You're not ready.
hand gestures and thinking bad things.
Yeah. Oh,
Um, but pro tip here, and I learned this from like an energy doctor that we brought in because I'll do anything to try and figure out how to work better with kids. If you've got somebody that you know is intimidated by you, or you suspect is intimidated by you, and cannot do the eye to eye contact, because there's a lot of people that really are just intimidated sitting across hearing this isn't working. Go stand beside them and look out at the landscape or look at the project
yeah.
standing side by side. If even better if you're traveling together and you can just have a conversation in a car where they can look elsewhere. But that tip gets you so much further with people that really struggle with their level of confidence that just can't hear it head on with eye contact. It really helps to just stand side by side and be like, hey, like the way that this was handled, I would have preferred to have seen this. Moving forward, I want you to consider this and this and this, and let's see what happens.
Yep.
Right? I think you'll find that we have a better result, and you're happier with how things went, like whatever it is.
Absolutely. All right, so that leads us perfectly into our challenge for the week.
Okay.
We want you to have one uncomfortable conversation that you have been avoiding.
Mm.
I know.
And then it might be hard, but try to really look forward to it.
I mean, and plan it out. Like have a
Yeah.
go through the difficult conversation planner, like type out, what it is that you want to accomplish. Think through what you're feeling, how they're feeling, what they might say, how they might respond, how you would respond to that. Go ahead and have it planned out. If this is
Yeah.
uncomfortable for you and new for you,
Yeah.
write it all out, think it through. Maybe that's something we can do, Patty, is post a difficult conversation planner for,
Oh, yes.
and then here you are. And then you have it ready, but have the conversation. It may not go
Please.
great, but it's better
Yeah.
than not doing it.
Well, and it's not going to help just the person that you're having the conversation with. It sets a precedent. Everybody is always watching.
Hmm.
So the people that are trying their hardest that think nothing ever changes will see that no, actually it does.
Yeah.
Right?
And you give yourself a mantra of, I don't need to be liked. I
Yeah.
need to lead.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that you need to say to yourself to remind you that as a leader, this is part of the job. And it's okay to not have everybody like you.
Yeah. You might actually find the stronger you become at leadership and the more intimidating you become, the more they actually do like you.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like
It's
it's
okay if
funny.
they don't. And you know what?
100%.
You're not always going to be everybody's favorite person, but you're not there to win the popularity contest and be Miss America.
No.
You are there to lead them and to get results and whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. And so lead with kindness, but you can't be Miss Popularity.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got to lead. And sometimes that means you have to do the things that you know are right, but aren't popular.
Yeah. Let's do a little tequila time just for fun to wrap it up.
Sure.
What is the pettiest reason someone has been mad at you?
Oh, wow.
I know. Can you narrow it down?
Can I narrow it down?
Top three?
Oh, wow. Wow. I think, well, one was because one was a parent. She was really mad because I reinforced that her kid was not getting a lollipop after he licked the mirror and then hit the teacher.
How dare you?
Oh, I know. I crushed his soul. Like literally, those were the words that she said. I was crushing his soul over a lollipop. Soul crusher.
Soul crusher right here. Dream
Yep.
smasher. Yeah.
Yep. Hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Had a parent mad
Oh,
at me because I told their kid no, that they couldn't go to the bathroom after they had been to the bathroom 10 minutes before. And I had said, unless you have explosive diarrhea or you're going to throw up, you are not going to the bathroom. So I'm a bully. And I said, that's fine. I will drive the bully bus.
that's
Actually, I
okay.
didn't say that, but that was in my brain. It was a good
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe one day we should co-author a book on the things we wish we could have said, but we were professional enough not to.
Mm, yeah.
Only people from like the 1900s will buy it and love it.
Like we do have a filter,
Just choose not to use it.
most of the time, but I will use it when I have to. It's unfortunate. It's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
we're way funnier with filters,
Oh my
but
gosh. Way
yeah,
funny, but
professionalism
sucks.
requires
Sucks
some
the life out
emotional
of
maturity to be displayed at times.
it. But don't think I'm not thinking it. I am
She's totally thinking it.
totally thinking it. Yeah.
Uh, and
Yeah.
I'm egging her on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's amazing. What's the pettiest thing somebody's been mad at you about?
Recently, go read your job description.
Oh, I know. You pissed off half the internet with that one.
Mostly men, though.
That's all right. They
I
don't
said
like
what I said.
strong
Um,
leadership. Don't be intimidating to the men, Patty.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're not.
I'm not actually. I I had a parent too that was mad at me because I said no in the best interest of their child.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got like some hate mail through Facebook Messenger at like midnight. And I really wanted to respond like, are you drunk? Because like who messages a teacher after midnight on a Thursday?
Well, and
After and like in after you've had a meeting with said person and their spouse
yeah,
discussing exactly what they were raving about. And it's like,
yeah.
okay.
I always tell my staff, I'm like, if an email comes in from like 10 p.m. to
Mhm.
5 a.m., they're all in their feelings. There's
Yeah.
probably either alcohol or anxiety involved. And so you got to take all of that out and really kind of read through the nonsense to get to like what are they actually asking for? Because it's usually just some
Oh, I have another one. And this one still floors me. It comes up every Valentine's Day, like on the holiday of love. I had a staff member who's no longer with me, who like used to teach at another studio, which was fine, like totally approved, whatever. She and like never told me about it, went through everybody else, but she got mad that we did Valentine hearts for our students because she was doing that at her other studio and we were just copying her, or I specifically was just copying her. And I'm like,
it's a holiday.
but also like giving a heart Valentine on Valentine's Day, like
Again, that's a natural practice for that.
I'm like, I was just honored she worked at my studio. I did not know that she created the Valentine. Just wow. I'm so
Oh,
sorry. I wish you would have come to me and I could have apologized to you in person instead of through
I
the
wish you
chat.
had known that you had the celebrity working for you that invented the holiday of Valentine's
I
Day.
would have put her on our social
Valentine.
media. Yeah,
Wow,
I did not know.
who knew?
I'm apologizing now. I was unaware. It's just
I
unaware.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did not know it was such a new holiday either. Hmm.
yeah. Anyway, that was probably the well, it still tickles me every Valentine's Day. Like when we're handing out because we still do it because I mean she was brilliant with this idea. but we still do Valentine's for the kids. And yeah, it was a great idea. I'm, you know,
I love it. I love
giving
it.
full transparency. It was her idea.
Well, thank you to her
Yeah.
for helping us spread the love in the world
Yeah.
on the holiday of love. Pretty sure we passed out Valentine's when we were kids, and she wasn't even a thought in her mother's brain, but it's fine.
Maybe that
Maybe.
might have happened, but probably not as well.
Who are we to say? All right, friends. Well, we will see you next time on No Bras Required as we continue down our leadership lane of becoming the leaders that we should be and not
Yeah.
the ones that maybe society, men, the inventor of Valentine's Day, thinks that we should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Our goal for this podcast is to be that village where we can have those deeper conversations. We can talk about the serious things and walk each other home from diapers to death and all the things that come in between, but also to bring the humor and our crazy squirrel moments and all of our funny stories that we've lived from parenting to entrepreneurship to just being us and the adventures that we come up with. But we want to build a community and be those people to give you some sound advice that, maybe makes you giggle a little bit every once in a while.
So thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, share with your favorite hot mess mama friends, and give us a follow on Instagram at No Bras Required Pod.
Every week, we'll drop a new episode tackling everything from marriage and mom guilt to leadership and loss with humor, heart, and maybe a little tequila or wine. So bring your favorite drink and join us every week.